One of the major challenges facing the world today is climate change. Climate change and food security, particularly for us in Africa, are inseparable. Therefore, as we look at the post-Kyoto deal, at the Copenhagen talks, there can be no deal without agriculture. FANPAN has been mandated by COMESA member states to lead the African civil society to speak with one voice with African member states. No agriculture, no deal. We therefore need to build consensus on ways to fully incorporate agriculture into the post-Kyoto Protocol. Today, as FANAPAN, we are happy to be engaging with one of Africa's luminaries, His Excellency Ngwazi Dr. Bingu wa Mutharika, as he shares his vision on climate change. The biggest challenge we are facing now is climate change. Malawi has not been spared, indeed the whole world. When we had the Copenhagen talks, we moved as Africa with one voice, where FANPAN, in partnership with others, was able to put in place a position for Africa: no agriculture, no deal. Because the deal could have gone through without any mention of agriculture, because it was seen as a forest issue, a climate issue, without people, without agriculture.
Right.
How, under your leadership, would you ensure that the challenges of climate change are addressed at national, regional, and indeed Africa-wide?
Within the context of the agricultural development policy, particularly the Green Belt, we are addressing that issue because we are saying, okay, climate change, how is it impacting on the people? Desertification, lack of water for irrigation, insufficient rains, and almost a heavy dependence on rain-fed agriculture. And we are saying, let's move away from that. And we are already moving away from that in Malawi. In fact, we are having quite a successful irrigation schemes, which, last year I think we produced almost 300,000 metric tons of food only through irrigation. In Malawi, we are hoping we can bring into production over time up to 1 million hectares of land. Now this will not only involve agriculture; it will also involve forestry, planting of trees along river
That's a
banks.
mitigation
Some areas will be just a forest. That's all. Just put forest there, to improve the water catchments. So that in itself will be answering the issue of environment.
Yes.
Because sometimes, as you are saying, the issue of environment is raised so high that is out there. It's not brought
out of context.
It's not brought to the people on the ground, because to the people on the ground is a farmer, grows his or her maize, and it dries up within a month because rain did not come. What do you do? Or how can you prevent that from happening? You prevent that by having irrigated agriculture.
Yes.
Because then you can tell that person, it doesn't matter whether the rain comes or not, here's the water, and they can grow and they see the thing. And in the process, when you have the green belt, clearly in that area, you will have certain changes taking place in terms of climatic conditions. And so if we did that throughout Africa, we had several green belts, then it must have an impact on the climate, even on the environment as such, and the rain patterns, etc., etc. So we were looking at that, the issue of deforestation, not only by, we tend to emphasize people cutting firewood, and they do, but we can tackle that. But what about the logging?
Yeah.
They never
That's
mentioned
good.
this. The forests in the Congo, which have been depleted, they are not depleted by farmers.
Who want firewood.
For firewood, no. It's a logging industry. And so, but I think the commercialization destroys this forest, and then stand aside as if it's our responsibility and we did it.
To clean up.
No, we didn't. They did it. So the question will be, can the world have enough conscience to come and say, we contributed to the destruction of this. We would like to contribute to the solution. So we'll be tackling the issue of climate change along those lines. And I think this cannot be just an African issue.
It's a global
It's a global
issue.
issue.
We need a
and,
global
and
deal.
we must have concerted action
Yes.
if we want to change
Yeah.
the world as it is.
Yeah.
The global warming,
Yeah.
it's not an African issue.
Our
The problem-
emissions are very low when
Yeah,
compared
our
to
emissions are very, very
developed
low.
countries.
We don't incorrigible, although
Yeah.
we are suffering from it.
Biggest.
You know, we will be conscious, we will take action to make sure that we don't get technologies that increase the situation. But it is pretty much the issue of industrialization. And I think the industrialized countries must accept the responsibility and take action.